Welcome to Joe's Astrology. Here we have Simone Biles. I don't know if I'm saying that right. She's a Olympic gymnast, and I saw this chart, and it is an excellent chart for an athlete, for an Olympic athlete. And we see here she's a Sun in Pisces and a Moon in Gemini with a Pisces rising. So if we could look at the Pisces, of course, uh, with the Sun and Venus conjunct in Pisces. Mercury is there as well. We think, oftentimes, many people think of her as being living a dream life with the Olympics, and that's the larger than life, and we see that there with the Pisces. Also, Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, so this is a sign of performance, sign of the theater, the acting, and she is definitely on stage, on the big stage, as she is an Olympic athlete. Even if you think of gymnastics is definitely has an element of art to it, and art is associated with Neptune and Pisces as well. And Venus is, of course, Venus is exalted in Pisces, and she has Venus there conjunct her Sun. So she has a very strong Venus, and it's all in the first house, the first house of becoming. And it just on the surface, the first house can correlate with being a leader, being someone who's in the forefront, and in modern astrology, as we're going to see here, she has Mars as well, conjunct the North Node with these planets in the first. She is a athlete. She's an active person. She's a person that spends a lot of time working on her body. First house. And I also have a stellium in the first house. And I'm not a gymnast, but I spent a lot of time as a tennis player. A lot of time working on my body. A lot of issues came up, etc., concerning the body, the self-image. The ruler of her chart is Neptune, and it's in the 11th, the house of fame, in Capricorn at 29 degrees, the critical degree. It's also conjunct Uranus, and Uranus is also conjunct Jupiter, which could also be considered the ruler of her chart. All that's together in the 11th and the 12th. Jupiter, again, coming back to this idea of being a performer. Also put all that together with Uranus, add the genius quality, the progressive quality. And this is somebody who would get along with the people of the day. She would be very popular with young people. We see there that Neptune, that ruler Neptune, is in 29 degrees of Capricorn, and that is the Virgo decan, which we're going to get into. Not only does she have all this Pisces, but she has Virgo. Here with that Neptune in the Capricorn decan of Virgo, someone who's going to pay attention to detail, and of course, this is necessary to be a great gymnast as well. And with that Capricorn, she is definitely going to be somebody who's going to work hard to get to the top of her craft. As I mentioned, Mars is conjunct the North Node in Virgo, which the South Node, which I didn't mention, is also in Pisces, conjunct the Sun and Mercury as well. And we see there with that Mars conjunct the North Node in Virgo that this is somebody who, in the 7th house, through relationships, has worked on herself, has worked to improve, self-improvement, Virgo. Has worked on her health, Virgo. And it's conjunct the North Node there with that Mars conjunct the North Node. You can see there's evidence that she is living a fruition life concerning the competitive arena, Mars. So this isn't a life where the work that she's putting in uh, is not seeing the fruits of her labor. She is seeing the fruits of her labor as a gymnastics champion. And if we look at evolutionary astrology, which is something that I do, if you're interested in learning about your life path, learning about what's possible, what can be done to facilitate your life advancement, your life improvement. We see Pluto in the ninth, and Pluto in the ninth, and the Moon in Gemini in the third. So we see just heavy emphasis on the ninth and the third, and the, the Pisces, and the Virgo, the 12th and the 6th. And we see with that moon, well, before I say anything else, let's just say that she has that emphasis on the seeing the vision, and as I said, living that dream life, seeing the vision of being an Olympic athlete and putting in the work to become an Olympic athlete. That's important because a lot of people have the vision, they have the dream, they have the idealism, but they don't have the ability to put in the work for whatever reason, circumstance, uh, psychology, etc. And we see here with the moon in Gemini, uh, also we could say Gemini that's ruled by Mercury, and that North Node, Virgo, is ruled by Mercury. So a lot of emphasis on Mercury uh, into where she's headed. So it's really like in this chart, you can really see there's a dream, and then this is what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to make it happen. And where she's coming from, Pluto, the ninth. Let me explain that a little bit better, more with the astrology. Pluto in the ninth, where she's coming from, and the South Node in the first in Pisces, where she's coming from. And where she's headed, the third, the opposition, Moon in Gemini in the third, and then the Mars North Node in the seventh in Virgo. We see the Venus conjunct the Sun, a very attractive person. And it's in the Venus is in the Cancer decan. So not only is she attractive, it's exalted in Pisces, but people are going to be more attracted to her because of her, um, probably for her love of home. She probably has a love of home with that Venus in the Cancer decan and that Moon uh, moving towards the fourth house, almost conjunct the fourth house, the IC there. And she has Saturn in Aries as well. Aries being another sign of a competitor. In this chart, it's in the first. It's also in the first house. You could say with Saturn there in the first, she might not have had a easy early life. Now, with all the other things, it's not so much that it was a bad early life, but maybe you could think of the gymnastics as not being an easy childhood because you had to work very hard. More likely than not, if I looked her up, she worked very hard as a child in the gym. But there, Saturn, her work, in Aries, her work is to be an athlete. When we see it's trining that Pluto back to the ninth, a seeker. Pluto in the ninth is a soul that is a seeker, a true seeker. In her case, she's looking for, how do I become a great Olympic gymnast? And you can see there with the moon in the third in Gemini, she's found the information to do that. She's found the right people. North Node Mars in the seventh. Of course, there's much more that can be said about this chart. I'm going to leave it there for now. If you want to see more, feel free to leave it in the comments. Maybe I'll do a longer, extended version of Simone Biles in the future. And I hope you have a great day.